Hello and welcome to a Zero Harm tutorial. In this video we'll be looking at the hazard register. This will show you how to add new hazards and alter various templates. Begin by logging into zeroharm.app and clicking hazard register. Once you've done this, you will see the list of hazards which you've added, or maybe not so much. Select add hazard. Depending on your agriculture type or site type defined during your site creation, we will present some templates which should hopefully be more relevant. If you see a hazard off the bat that you have on site, just click on it, read the assessment and click add to register once you're happy. This will just add the templated hazard to the list. Whenever we add a new hazard, it's important that we check it and create a new assessment. A new assessment is basically just yourself reading and understanding that you have read the hazards. This is important, and although the templates we use trying to be as accurate as possible, we always recommend that you go through and just make sure that the hazards are related to your site. Once we click new assessment, we will get this new window, and this is where we will have the various hazard information and what can be done and what the rules must be to mitigate some of the risk. It is possible to select and modify any of these. Again, we have tried to select the best presets for you, but in some situations we will advise that you do make a modification. Once we click save, we would have now have made an assessment, and we would have signed that with a virtual signature at the bottom. If we jump back to the hazard register and click add hazard again, we also have suggested templates, which, as I explained earlier, was the recommended for your agriculture or site types, which you may find useful. And we also have all templates next to this, and that will bring up all of the templates that we have stored within Zero Harm, which you may find useful. Alternatively, if you cannot find your hazard that you're looking for, or maybe there's something which isn't listed, which can be very probable, simply click on create custom hazard. If we were to add power lines as a new hazard, select that. You can add a description, power lines. Click on save. We now get the option to eliminate or minimize it. So although we can never eliminate the risk of power lines, we can minimize it. So in this option, we will select minimize. This is where we get to a familiar screen where we can select the measures which we can enforce to reasonably and practically minimize the risk. In this case, we can't substitute the power line. That has to stay. We can use prevent contact or exposure to risk. The measures be applied. In this case, list all power lines on site map. Inform all contractors on arrival. Ensure signs are on power line poles. So bearing in mind, this is just an example, and we advise that you spend a bit of time on this, just making sure all areas are correct. So this would also be associated with administrative controls. PPE probably not so much. We also just strictly no work under or around the power line. So we can then assign certain rules that people must follow. So again, probably just kind of covers what we just wrote. Take extra care under or around all power lines. All contractors must induct prior to arriving. So here we can just write how those measures will be applied and what rules that people must follow. Naturally, this will vary hazard to hazard, but I hope this gives a brief example of how you can create your own custom hazard. If we jump back to the hazard register, we will now see that custom hazard underneath. And again, if we want to edit any of the hazards, be that templated or custom, we can just simply click on edit, and we can update any details there, or alternatively create a new assessment and update some of the details we've listed. It's important to note that if you do add a new hazard to the hazard register after someone has made an induction, they will be forced to re-induct. Now what the system will do is it will just it won't make that contractor or visitor re-induct across the entire hazard register, but it will force them to re-induct on that particular new hazard which you have added after the initial induction. So please bear that in mind. Usually we recommend trying to update and complete the hazard register as much as possible before inviting people to make an induction. It's never the end of the world if that doesn't happen, but it can just make it slightly easier next time they visit. We hope this video has helped. If you do have any questions, please contact us on support@zeroharm.app. and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, have a great day and see you at the next video.